Hey, welcome one, welcome all. In fact, it may just be one right now. It looks like Nighthawk Warrior has joined us early. When I say us, I mean me and you. Um, hey, welcome to Aaron Live. It's the day before October, so it's the day before Halloween, is what I was trying to say. It's not the day before October; it's the day before Halloween. So, is it Halloween Eve? Because actually, Halloween is All Hallows Eve. So it gets a little confusing if you really want to start breaking it down. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I have something to draw. And when I have something to draw, I want to share it with you. Well, sometimes. And I have a Green Goblin to draw. And I'm thinking, Halloween's tomorrow, as just previously stated. Perfect time to do a Green Goblin drawing. So I'm not selling anything tonight. Okay, that's a lie. I'm always selling these. Now, of course, those of you who don't have one of these, there's only 4 people watching, so I'm guessing right now that all of you have one. But if you don't, tell your friends to get one of these. This is my hardcover Raw Imagination, 20 years of sketches, 64 pages, full color, tons of action, lots of diverse subject matter, eclectic, some people might call it. You can get one of these for 25 bucks, signed and numbered, limited edition, plus $5 shipping, of course. Or you can get a sketch on the inside, a headshot sketch for an extra $20. So it's $45 plus $5 shipping. And you can have one of these in your own private collection. You'll get the sales pitch later on in the show after we get a few more watch orders. We're up to 8. That's pretty groovy. So, but anyway, I got to plug it. I got boxes of them. Got to move the boxes. A tremendous value. If you don't have one, you should get one. How do you get one? You contact me. Message me through Facebook. You can email me at aaron@aaronlopresti.com, and or message me through Twitter or on Instagram. I'm all over the place, man. And speaking of being all over the place, actually, this has nothing to do with being all over the place, but you see that little scroll on the bottom of the screen that says subscribe and like because it's free. And it really is. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do it. Please, I'm begging you. They tell me it's important. So actually, I know it is. I kind of figured out how the whole thing works now. And so I need subscribers. And it doesn't cost you anything. You just click a button that says subscribe. And then you get notices whenever I do a video just like this. So there you have it. Okay, so let's get cracking on this, shall we? I'm gonna take you from pencil to ink to marker, and there's gonna be some color in there too. And what I'm doing is a 9x12 sort of headshot, bust shot of the Green Goblin. I haven't drawn him in a while. I'm kind of excited. Actually, I haven't really done a lot of Marvel stuff in quite some time. So I'm kind of excited to do it. I grew up a Marvel zombie, so this is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy doing. Let's take a quick look. We're starting some comments are rolling in. Let's see. Benjamin Lee's here. Hey, Ben, thank you for joining us. Scott Gunther's here. Thanks for joining, Scott. Rodney Ulabari's here. Lloyd Delagarde, the collector, is here. Nighthawk Warrior is plugging my sketchbook. I appreciate that. Scott says, can you draw the Green Goblin being defeated while Spidey saves Gwen Stacy, changing an abomination in the Spider-Man canon? I wish I could. That reminds me of an interesting story, which I'm going to share in just one second. How's your day or night, Aaron? It's going good so far. Thank you. How's Garbage Man? He's still dirty. Thank you. Garbage Man will be coming out next year. I still can't tell you who's publishing, but it will be coming out. I mean, the collection of the DC material with the new added pages that replace the Batman pages and a few pinups and things like that. So that collection, that trade paperback, will be out next year, but I can't talk about it yet. But I am talking about it, but apparently I'm not supposed to, so whatever. Am I going to ding you for extra shipping to Canada? Of course I am. Of course I am. International shipping is so outrageously expensive anymore. I can't eat it anymore. So I'm going to make you eat it. Sorry. What can I do? I mean, you may have to sell one of your expensive comic books to pay for the shipping. I mean, it's that bad, folks. Okay, so let me tell you my story that Scott Gunther brought this up. Actually, why don't I start drawing and talk while I'm drawing? That usually seems to be a pretty good formula. That way I'm looking at the screen, I can see your comments. And I cheated a little bit here, and I kind of laid out the Green Goblin head because I wanted to make sure that this is a little more than just your average sketch. These, I did a series of these headshots in my sketchbook, one of my previous sketchbook pamphlet book thing that I used to sell at conventions called, what was it called? It was called Illegal. And it's all just like headshots of villains, like portraits of villains. And so I did them all 9x12. And that's what this is. And this is for the guy who actually bought every single one of those. He owns the entire book. So, so he's contacted me again, and here we are, off and running with some more. Okay, so here's the story. So I'm at USC, right, going to school there. And let me move the camera so you can see this a little bit better. And there's like the USC comic book club. Yes, there is such a thing, or at least there was such a thing when I was there. They booked Stan Lee as a guest speaker. So of course, I'm going to go see that. And so he does his, his Stan Lee talk, and then it comes down to Q&A, right? And so I raise my hand. He calls on me. I go, Stan. No, I don't know. He's probably, probably called him Mr. Lee. Who knows? And anyway, so I asked him. I said, "Why did you kill Gwen Stacy?" Okay, and of course there's this big uproar in the crowd, right? Because that's what everybody really wants to know. And so he goes into this explanation. He says, "Well, look, he goes, I was leaving for Europe for an extended period of time to go do something for Marvel related, but over in Europe, right?" So he says he turned over the reins, the editor-in-chief reins, to I believe it was Jerry Conway, and it's either Conway or Roy Thomas, I can't remember, but anyway, so he said, you're in charge, man. You can do whatever you want to do. And he goes, I had no idea he was going to kill Gwen Stacy. He goes, if I had known that, I never would have put him in charge, or something like that. And we all had sort of a laugh. So that was not Stan's idea to kill Gwen Stacy. I guess it was Jerry Conway's. And although it's a classic story, it still really ticked me off because I love Gwen Stacy way more than as a character, way more than Mary Jane. She seemed much more appropriate for Peter Parker. And I guess they figured they were getting to a point where the two of them were going to get married, and they couldn't have that, at least back, 1970, was it 1974, I think, that happened. They couldn't allow that to happen back in those days, so all he could do was they were going to break up or kill her, and they decided to kill her. So there you have it. But that's what Stan did. He pushed the blame off on Jerry Conway. So there you have it. It's not a great story, but it's an okay story. That's my first meeting with Stan the Man. And that was 1985, I think. So I was young. I had hair. It was a different time. All right. So I used to always be sort of, how should we say? I don't know if say religious about it, but whenever I drew classic Marvel characters, Green Goblin, whatever, I would always draw them the way I remember them as a kid. Just try to stay on model as best I could. Benjamin Lee, 1985, the year after I was born. Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, Scott says we'll show this. Well, you better put other people in charge, man. Look out. That's what happens. Oops, sorry. So anyway, so I used to draw these characters. Oops, pardon me. I used to draw these characters exactly like Romita drew them, or whoever. basically kept them on model. And then, you start looking at all these other cool artists come along, and then they start doing their own take on these, villains and characters. And you're like, why can't I do that? Why do I have to draw it like Romita did? Because I always thought, well, that's kind of the respectful way to do it, right? But everybody gets so much credit for their own take or design of a classic character. I thought maybe I'm not exercising my rights as a creator to to go in there and sort of, I don't know, make him a little different. I mean, you make him clearly, this is the Green Goblin, but it's not, if you looked at the how he looked in Spider-Man 121 and 122, this is, doesn't look like this. But oops, ticked out there for a minute. I should be able to go in and express my artistic vision for a character. And so that's what I'm doing. The heck with it, right? I'm going to go ahead and do it the way I want to do it. And this is, at least for tonight, this is how I wanted to do it. So. Now, is there anybody out there that's ordered anything from me that has not received it? Because I'm pretty sure I've got everything mailed out actually quite some time ago. And but I always live in fear. I did that to Kirk Spencer one time. I ended up thinking I shipped his stuff out, and I didn't. It was sitting in a drawer over here, and he's like a month later going, hey, did you ever send that stuff out to me? And I go, yes, I did. And then we were all worried that it didn't get there. Then I went and looked at my flat file, and there it was. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I didn't send it out. So it does happen. We all make mistakes, especially me. I wish I could tell you guys about what I just drew. I just did a commission for somebody, like a cover quality commission. So it's like, like if I did a cover for a comic, and those are relatively expensive. And but I did this for a guy, but he wants me to keep it under wraps because he's using it for something, and until he gets the use out of it, he doesn't want to spoil the surprise. But it may be the strangest and yet most interesting thing I've maybe ever done. That's saying a lot, but it was, in terms of commissions, it was pretty wild, and I can't wait to share it. But it's going to be at least another month or more before I can. There you go, Scott. We're on the same page? Yeah. Green Goblin looks creepy, right? It's Halloween. He should look creepy. Okay, so let's see. I bought a bunch of new pens because I've been burning them out here pretty regularly because I've been doing a lot of commissions now that I'm still unemployed. But although I'm drawing commissions, I guess that means I'm not unemployed, right? You know what? I forgot to turn the autofocus on. Forgive me. Let me fix that right now. There. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Autofocus is fixed. Now, I originally started doing these kind of headshots like this that I, again, turned into my sketchbook illegal. Because I just wanted to practice doing more high-end marker stuff. And when I say high-end, I mean taking a little bit more time and I handled the markers and just to get better at it, period. This is a 0.8, which is the it's the thickest line that the Le Pen makes, and actually it's the thickest line that most these pens make, and then they go to like a brush after this. So but anyway, I did a bunch of these just to practice, and it, like I said, it turned out and I knew I'd use them for something, but I didn't necessarily expect to sell all of them, especially to one guy. But hey, who am I to complain about that? So, so like I said, he's going to add this to his collection, and it's going to, I want it to be the same size as all the other ones. So, actually, didn't have any 9 by 12 paper left, so I had to cut this. So it'd be the same size as the other ones. So is anybody expecting trick-or-treaters tomorrow? Our governor here is recommending that people don't go trick-or-treating, which to me is absurd because they're outside and they're wearing masks. But, you know, so I got this humongo bag of candy downstairs that apparently my wife and I are probably going to be eating since I'm not sure we're going to see anybody tomorrow, or very few people. I mean, I don't care if it was the Black Plague. If I was a kid and it was Halloween, I'm getting free candy. I'm risking it. Lloyd, I assume you're saying nope, meaning that no, you're not getting any trick-or-treaters. Going silent here for a minute. But I am going to do something here in a little bit that you guys have not seen me do a lot of, I don't think, is, especially on these live feeds anyway, is my combo of marker and colored pencil. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. So what is my favorite character to draw? I don't know that I have one. Nighthawk Warrior comics. So Aaron, what's your favorite character to draw? I don't know. I don't know. Anymore, when I get commission requests, if I get a request for something that I haven't drawn or haven't drawn in a long while, those tend to be a little bit more entertaining for me than the standard, Wonder Woman or whatever. Not that I don't have any problem drawing Wonder Woman, but it's always interesting to get requests for things that you don't normally get to draw. But I mean, monsters always, in some degree, are the most fun to draw because you have less restrictions on anatomy and facial anatomy and everything else. You can kind of go a little crazy and do stuff that maybe you wouldn't do if you're drawing a normal hero or female heroine. And when I say heroine, I don't mean the drug. I mean, female hero. Just want to be clear, don't do drugs. Okay, it's my public service announcement. Okay, I want to show you guys something else that I've learned to do. Check this out. I didn't know how to do that before. Like get an avatar and put it on there so you can't see me. I just, when I grow in my technological achievements, I like to share those things with people. And I hear my dog chewing on something just outside my room, and I'm not sure what it is. So excuse me 1 second while I investigate this. All right, it was nothing. I mean, it was something, but it was something he can be chewing on. So it's always, these dogs, man. Oh, now he's coming in like, oh, hey, do you want something? Like, no, I don't want anything. Go away. He's going to start jumping on me here in a minute. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that I knew how to do that. I think you can do sound effects too. I don't have that figured out yet. It's probably not that hard. I just haven't really, I got to be honest, I haven't actively looked into it. So I don't know. But the fact that I picked up that avatar thing, I mean, that's promising for the future of my my webcasts or whatever the heck you call these. Okay, when I do these with the markers, it's like you almost want to, I mean, when I'm doing a comic book piece, I'll put in a bunch of line work and feathering, as we call it. But when I'm doing the marker stuff, I'd much rather create that volume with the values from the marker. So I have to kind of resist the temptation to go in and do a bunch of line work, right? Because I want to do that. So you kind of go in and looks like a coloring book, right? And I kind of want to go in and do the modeling with the markers. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to resist the temptation to go in and put a bunch of lines in there. I want to clean this up as best I can. Asian Santa. I want to see what people's reactions will be. And this will be the first year I dress as Santa Claus for Halloween. I want to see what people's reaction to the Asian Santa. I bet they don't even notice, Ben. I mean, that's just me. Just me. As I put on Twitter about a month ago, that I was just going to be a grumpy middle-aged man, which I don't even have to dress up for that. I saw years ago, like 20 years ago, when we still had dial-up internet, before you guys were born. And I found this place that had these really cool masks. And it was like this pirate mask, but it was like a really ugly dude pirate mask, but it was like really well done. And I was like, gosh, I should order that. And I never did. And now when I go out and look for like, scary or ugly pirate mask, nothing. Can't find it anywhere. I mean, there's some sites that have some pretty good masks, but they're usually just really horrific ghoulish type monster masks. And that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, I prefer ugly people masks, which I guess are, terrifying in their own right. Josh Olive has jumped in. Josh, thanks for joining us. Josh has a pretty spectacular commission I did for him, if I do say so myself. He had a very odd request as well, combining elements of Shakespeare with swamp. Actually, it was. I mean, I like to think, turn out pretty well. You know, it's a lot easier when you're working at home on your drafting table without people watching you to do a really nice job on something than it is sitting at a convention, which, well, I haven't done in almost a year, but. And even this, I mean, that's why I cheated and pre-drew the Green Goblin before I came on, because I wanted to make sure that it was going to work for what I wanted to do before I did it. All right. So it looks like, you know, it looks basic, looks like coloring book stuff, right? Ugly people masks, like me when I dress as Red Skull, huh? Exactly. Well, that's still a character mask, though. I mean, just like random ugly old people, I think are kind of funny. Like you always see like this, like an old, what do I want to say, old world European woman, you know, who has like the bandana around her head, you know, and just big old gnarly nose, and that's the kind of mask I want to get. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, he's going to be green, and of course his hat is purple, right? But I'm going to go in with warm grays, and to kind of establish my values. And then I'm going to go over that with a green colored pencil. And then we shall see what we see. Because as I know I have stated on one of these very live feeds before, that the reason I like using the gray markers is because you have like different levels, different value levels, right? So this is a warm 0, which I just used to kind of create a base. And then I can do different values all the way up to, like, you know, a warm gray, probably 8 or something. And if I were just to get a green Copic marker, you can't get different values of the same green, right? They're different greens. So it's really hard to kind of, like you would with a watercolor, build up your values, which is how I like to treat these markers, as kind of like watercolors. So if I was doing a watercolor painting over the top of this, I'd go over it with a light green, and then when that's dry, I'd use a hairdryer actually to blow on it to get it to dry quickly. And then I'd go back over it with maybe a little darker and a little darker and a little darker, and build up layers of color to get my different values, different darkness and lights. That's how I watercolor, and that's kind of how I like to use these pens as well. And you can't do that because if you get a green marker, I mean, the colors are so bright and so rich that you know, it's hard to get any subtlety out of them. So I would rather do that with the gray tones and then color over the top of those gray tones. The problem is, if you do that, if you use, you know, cool grays or warm or neutral grays underneath, and then color over the top of them, it's gonna, that gray, it sort of gives everything sort of a, I don't want to say a muddy look, but it can get really kind of cold looking. So, you know, using the warm grays over something that's going to be, you know, flesh tone, or sort of like a flesh tone, it reads better, I think, when you then go over it with a colored pencil. I seem to be blinking in and out. You know, that's what you get for doing this with Wi-Fi. I'm upstairs, and my cable or my internet feed is downstairs. So this is, every time I do these, it's on Wi-Fi. And sometimes they don't navigate the house very well. The signal, I mean. So Let's see, where are we at? If you've got a gap in your schedule, Aaron, let me know. I've got another commission I'd love to have you do. Well, I have a massive gap in my schedule called unemployment right now. So I do have quite a list. Well, okay, that's an exaggeration. I have several commissions, but I may have them done in less than 2 weeks. So feel free to contact me if you want to talk about another commission. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm going to end up ever going to be back in mainstream comics. I don't know if it's a sign of the times, if it's just, COVID downsizing and stuff, or if it's, if we're seeing a definite negative change in comics, at least in terms of the amount of books being produced. You never know. I've had periods before where I was unemployed for stretches of like 3 months, much earlier in my career. But it's been years since I've haven't had anything. I mean, it's only been a couple of weeks, and I've been very busy with commissions and art sales, so I'm very thankful for that. But I don't know, man. Times are changing. I don't really recognize a lot of what's going on over at DC these days, and most of the people I've worked with for years aren't, well, quite frankly, they're not there anymore. So who knows where I'll be 6 months from now. Did anyone let you know that your brief visit to D&Q the other night netted you the bronze for third place? Oh, that's pretty funny. I always like going in there to win, but I couldn't stick around last night or Wednesday night or whenever it was, because I was finishing up Joe the Shark's commission. That's what I was doing, and I wanted to get it done for him. And but here, let me share what I did on Mike Miller's Drawn and Quartered. I think he has Friday night auctions right now, but I did this in my sketchbook, so it's not coming out for auction purposes. But where is it? We were supposed to do zombie presidents, and I started thinking, well, I'll do Abe Lincoln, and then I was like, no, I'll do Teddy Roosevelt, and then it just came out like a cross between Abe Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. So I have no idea what this is, but that's what I drew on their zombie competition, and that got me third place, and I left early. So hey, if I'd stuck around and sold some more votes, I might have, or bought some more votes, I might have won. There's to show you guys I don't always do monsters. If you haven't seen these are posted up on my Facebook and Instagram and Twitter feeds. Little Disney princess action. Rapunzel, oh my gosh. Tangled is like my favorite Disney movie all time. I mean, it really is. I love that movie. I am blaming you, Joe. I am blaming you. Anthony, hi. Good to see you, or well, good to see that you're here. Did you guys see this? Remember Cousin Erie from? This is what you do when you don't have any work. At night you go, oh, I'll just get my sketchbook and do some stuff. This Cousin Erie, the host of Erie Magazine, Warren magazines from the 70s. Uncle Creepy, Creepy magazine. Benjamin Lee, you still haven't seen Tangled? Oh, you're a barbarian. Look at this. You remember him? That's Kane from House of Mystery. Now this, I'm really particularly pleased with how this came out. This is Abel from House of Secrets, who I don't like at all as a character, but man, the drawing for some reason turned out really well, I think. So anyway, so yeah, I'm doing all these like horror hosts, because it's October, right? And there's another Kane from the House of Mystery. And then, of course, Red Skull in red, you know, just made, I have no idea why I did this. But I did it. Oh, and there's some, Benjamin Lee wanted to see the roughs I did while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for his commission. So here they are. Here they are, Benjamin Lee. Oh, the Crypt Keepers. I have, hang on, Lloyd, I'm getting to it. So anyway, I did these kind of Wolverine sketches in here, trying to figure out what I wanted to do for Benjamin Lee's commission. If you want to see the finished piece, it's up on all my Facebook, Twitter. I don't think it's on Instagram, but it's on Facebook and Twitter. So go back and check my feed. So I went through all these different things, and finally I decided to go with this pose, and I put a big snake in there and a monkey and a bunch of trees and stuff. So it's kind of turned out pretty well. Full color. There's a little Karloff Frankenstein action, right? Okay, there is the Crypt Keeper from the Tales from the Crypt, right? This is the EC's version, not the television version, obviously. There's the Vault Keeper. I say that was originally done by Johnny Craig, originally designed by Johnny Craig. That was originally designed by Jack Davis. And then here's the Old Witch, which is a Graham Ingalls creation. So, see. And these are all on my Twitter feed and my Facebook feed. So if you didn't see them when they came up the first time, go to my profile page and check them out. Henry Hole, Werewolf of London. That was actually more of a portrait in colored pencil than. And I opened the book with Charlie Chaplin, who's not scary at all, but actually quite funny. So anyway, that's it.
Your daughter's solo was Charlie Chaplin.
That's right.
Sure.
And Shelley jumps in to join us. Dog's going nuts because the dog always goes nuts. Okay, so back to the Green Goblin. Here we are.
Here we are.
Can you draw?
Oh, there we are. Husker doesn't get to play this weekend either.
The Huskers don't get to play, and Husker doesn't get to play. Okay, now she's putting the dog on my head while I'm trying to draw.
Let's see who's joining us. Wait.
There's lots of fun people joining us.
I just did 4 hours of teacher stuff. I'm tired.
If you have Cain and Abel, need the Weird Sisters too. I don't know who the Weird Sisters are. Okay. So now we're into the Warm 3.
I know Bert. Don't I know Bert?
You know Bert from San Diego?
Yeah.
So I finally talked to Shelley and just started going to cons with me again. And because our daughter's at college, and of course our son has moved out long ago, but now we don't have any this year to go to.
We're old. When I used to go, I just showed up for dinner.
Well, you still do.
Yeah.
When she does go, it's.
It used to be first when I was younger, I'd be by the pool all day, and then go shopping with Rachel.
Yep. Dodson.
Yeah.
Name dropper.
Ooh, I'm a big name dropper. And then as I got older, of the day after I got sick, and then now what do? I don't even know. Probably sleep.
Yeah, you sleep and.
A big sleeper. That darn chronic fatigue syndrome.
But you know, so stand up late at dinner parties and such.
Because I rage. When I'm partying, watch out. I like me, well, just a few beers. Oh, there's mass depression in Lincoln.
Huh?
Hi, Bert.
Oh, Scott.
There's mass depression in Lincoln.
Oh, of course there is.
There's a guy on Instagram that just does Husker memes, and boy, did he have a lot about this weekend and about somebody get flagged for targeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was about 15 of them on that were hilarious. It was just photoshopped flags everywhere that the Huskers were. Yeah,
Yep.
we miss hanging out at cons too. It's the only time we were ever really social. Especially now that the house is really quiet. We got to figure out how to be social again.
Well,
That's the bummer about your kids, and then they fly the nest. What is that? And they
leave the nest,
they
fly
don't.
the
Yep,
coop.
yep. There we go. I'm just gonna combine things. Apparently, they don't need us anymore. Although our daughter does FaceTime us every day.
Yeah, it's like she hasn't even left.
Yeah.
We see her so much. So we're gonna see her at Christmas time and go, "Hey, how's it going?" Like it's no big deal.
Yeah, we
We
just saw her
see her-
yesterday.
Yeah.
Although the first weekend she was trying to do laundry, she did send me photos of every single load to make sure that she was putting clothes together correctly. At the time, I realized that I've completely failed as a mother.
No, I don't know. Your son did the same thing.
I
He went to
know.
college.
Man, I suck. Okay, if they're testing everybody that goes in here, why are they wearing masks?
That's what I say. Because they're virtue signaling. That's why.
I just think they're.
Hey,
oh, that one he has like. You can
Speaking,
see his mouth move. It's so see-through. What coach is that?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's either Maryland or Minnesota.
Really?
I got a football game on the.
Because I can see that on the screen.
Well, the bald guy is the Minnesota coach. Was he bald?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Not all the way though. I don't think.
Well.
Like you, bald or worse? Oh, that guy. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
He's shiny. So yeah, he's.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, he shaves that thing because you can see there's hair used to be there.
We got college football commentary going on through the background there.
Look, his mask is like mesh, and you can see his.
I know, it's just
his
foolish.
flesh.
It's
I mean,
foolish.
if you threw food at him, it would go through the mask. It's just dumb. A virus can't get in here.
Oh boy, I tell you, the times we live in, folks.
Oh, I didn't tell you what I ordered. Sorry, you guys have to listen to the.
Oh.
I never see him otherwise, right? I don't talk to him unless he's online. I just ignore him.
Okay, wait a second.
Oh, wait.
Okay, the Weird Sisters were the hosts for DC's Witching Hour. Okay, they also would sometimes show up in Cain and Abel's books. Now that they're like witches, right? They're like two old hags. I have a couple. I never read the Witching Hour, but I think I have one or two issues because I think Wrightson did something in like a backup story in one of them or something. But yes, I know you're talking about now.
Scott, that's so funny. He typed that same thing when I said it. We're like psychically linked or something. Well, I found on Amazon. I know it's shocking to find something on Amazon. All right, so oh gosh, okay. I teach part-time. I teach Algebra 1 and AP Physics, right? So we meet with kids once a week for an hour in groups of less than 10 so that we can make our governor happy or whatever. And she's a tool. Anyway, so I've been trying to teach with a mask on, which mumbles everything. I can't hear the kids. They all have to wear masks all the time. So then I found this face shield with a hinge. So if I hinge it up, I can drink my coffee and then hinge it back down. But it covers your face so much that it traps the moisture. And so then I'm sweating like a pig trying to, it's just disgusting. So I found one that it just covers your mouth and just barely your nose, plastic, but from your chin, just this much.
Okay.
I think they call it a mouth shield. Because one of the teachers came and saw me and I'm like, ooh, that might work. And then too, if you have your glasses on and then you wear the mask and it fogs up.
It's just outrageous.
It's so frustrating.
Caleb, you showed up, but you showed up late, and that's okay. Let me try that again. You showed up late, but at least you showed up. That's what I was trying to say.
So Scott, do you live in Lincoln?
He does. He's a Michigan fan, though.
What? How'd they let you in Lincoln then? If you're, I'm telling.
He's the guy that sent me the Scott Frost $100 bill or whatever it was.
Oh, okay, at all. Do you tell him you had a signed Tommy Frazier picture?
Well, anybody who's a Nebraska fan has a signed Tommy Frazier picture. It's kind of a given,
so
I
that's
think.
special. Okay, I'll take it back then.
No.
What else do you have? You're easy to buy for. Toys, Husker. That's it.
Except I'm running out of shelves, so I can't get toys anymore. I have no place to put them.
We do have a big
Sad.
dumpster sitting out in front of our house. Get rid of crap, but nothing's coming out of the studio.
Well, that's,
So there's no crap in here.
Oh, there's crap, but it's all worth money
Oh.
in the collector market. Ask Lloyd the collector. He's in here someplace.
Especially after we die.
Yes. Then that's when someone's going to clean up. We're going to have the best
hopefully our
estate
daughter.
sale.
Oh, look, I found a bag of money. On ones.
Yeah.
Have you been stripping and I don't know about it?
Yeah.
All ones?
If I worked for like 6 years, I might get $5.
I get like a quarter.
Yeah. So
They
well,
ask for change.
That's my change money for comic
that's
book
right.
cons, but not
Oh.
had any comic cons. So Lloyd, come on, Lloyd, you're supposed to help me out, man. You're the collector. Stuff is worth money. Okay, as you can see, I'm building up some sort of depth and there we go, depth and values on that face.
That's good.
So then when I lay the green over the top, I don't have to worry about laying it darker in one area or lighter in one area. I just lay it the same over the top, and because the values are already established with the grays, that it,
that is really smart.
Kind of does the work for me.
Oh.
Although I'm actually doing the work now, but I don't have to do it again with a colored pencil. Which you will all see.
Color theory stuff I
shortly.
don't understand, I guess. But I guess that's not why I'm not the artist.
Well, I'll give you a book on color theory that will bore you to tears, so you'll probably love it.
In case I can't sleep.
No, it's like a math book. It
Ooh.
bores artists, but you would probably love it.
Ooh. Oh.
So
If we compared bookcases, man, mine would be very lacking.
well, I have an advantage because I buy a lot of
The
big
history
books.
of pie. What else do I have?
I have a lot of watch your step there.
That's the second time I tripped on them yesterday too.
I have my banners, but they're like retracted in just laying on the floor there, and so I've stubbed my toe on them daily as well. Maybe I should move them.
Nah, it's too easy.
Yep.
Right, here's some mesh Husker masks that I got you. Let's see.
Those are like collector's items. I don't want to.
Oh, it's not mint now.
Did you just open it?
I did. I bought them for you to wear them.
Well, I got some that I'm wearing.
But I have to wash them. Ooh. These are, oh no, they're not mesh. They faked you out. They printed mesh on it, but it's not mesh.
Oh,
and I thought they were when I
off.
saw them.
Fake mesh.
Oh. Telling.
Look, there's my dog. My dog is trying to help.
Ooh, but they have like metal in the nose thingy.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So it's not on the top, it's inside, like the ones that Sammy and I were sewing.
Yeah.
These ones don't.
You don't get commentary like this on every
we are
on every video feed.
You're such an exciting couple. Oh. All right. Or does it feel like it's midnight? Is it midnight anywhere else?
My gosh, you know what? It's like 7 o'clock on the East Coast. You're probably much later. Obviously, what do you mean? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely much later on the East Coast, but it still feels late because it's so stinking dark now.
Yeah. Oh wait, we fall back this weekend, don't we? Don't we change our clocks?
Yeah, but then it makes it even darker because then it would only be 6 o'clock and it would be this dark.
You got to up your antidepressants and your vitamin D.
Hey, if you guys are not, I just read something that like 80 to 90% of the COVID patients that are seen in the hospitals are deficient in vitamin D. If you guys take vitamin D, zinc, and vitamin C every day, you will do a world of good in protecting yourself from that virus and, of course, all other viruses. That's my health tip for.
Although I'm not a doctor.
You didn't pay for that either. That is free
try that at home.
Health advice.
It's so dumb. Half the people on the sidelines aren't wearing masks. So what's the point? It's so dumb.
The way of the world right now. This dog is attacking the goblin. He's like, yes. He's like, hold Gwen Stacy. And no, I'm going to kill you.
He looks like a homeless stuffed animal right now.
He does. He needs a haircut.
Daylight said, yeah. That's right. Happy wife. Well, game over then. No, I'm kidding. Your job brought you to
Would you get
Lincoln.
this thing off me while I'm trying to draw? Husker, get off me.
Oh, yeah, that'd be rough. Although in 19 years in Lincoln, you haven't been converted. Wow. How many times have you gone to Lincoln?
I don't know, 3 or 4 probably.
It's like going to Mecca. Your Mecca?
We were just there. Well, it was a Michigan
That was-
State game. That was when Riley was still coach. So that was 5 years ago, I guess. No, we were there for the Illinois game when it was 19 degrees and froze our butts off. That was just.
Was that when Nick dropped a beer in the?
Yes.
Okay.
Shh. All right. Okay. I don't know if I should I repeat that on air?
Of course, why not? You don't know who Nick is.
Well, I know, but what if someone that like works at the museum? Okay, so we went to this game in Lincoln, right? And we did some pretty weak-kneed tailgating. And my friend that I went with, his son, my friend and I, and then both of our sons, my son and his son went, 4 of us. And so he had his son, I mean, his son's 29 now, so he was maybe 26 or whatever at the time. So he gets all this, he buys these beer, right? But he buys, instead of cans, he buys bottles, right? So he puts in his backpack, he has these bottles of beer because we're going to walk around and tailgate or whatever. So we go into this, there's like a museum there on campus, or just right off campus, right down from the stadium. I don't know if it was considered actually on, I think it is still considered on, it was on campus, yeah. There's a big mastodon outside. It's really cool. It's like a natural history museum, right? So we go in there and it specifically says no drinks or anything like that to bring in. His backpack is stuffed full of this stuff, right? I don't know what happened. We're in looking at the cavemen and we hear this crash out in the lobby or out in the hallway, and there wasn't a lot of people there, right? Thankfully. And he had dropped, I think he was trying to get something out of his backpack, and he dropped the beer bottles just on the carpet, right? And it just broke and exploded. So the smell of beer is in the air. We're in this museum and we're like, oh my gosh, we're so dead. So then we run into the bathroom and grabbing paper towels, trying to clean this mess up before we're found out. And then his son cuts his hand on the glass. He's just like bleeding all over the place. Oh my gosh. So we got it sopped up the best we could. The whole place smelled like beer and we just booked out of there. I tell my friend, I'm like, we should probably tell him, right? He said, no, we should get out of here. So that's my broken bottled beer story in the Natural History Museum on the campus of Nebraska, University of Nebraska. So, but I didn't do it. I was much too responsible to do something like that. But anyway, let's see. What are we talking about here? My job brought me to Lincoln. Okay, so, but I spent the first 7 years in Michigan, so there was no way I was. Yeah, okay. Ace the Bat Hound. What are we even talking about? Cute dog. Oh, I get my dog. Yeah, okay. Crypto, no conversion, but I have made enough friends where I can get all the free drinks I want at tailgates. Yeah, the LNL Museum. That's the one. We wrecked it. And oops, I was going to color this, but I'm going to. I need to do the gray up here first for the hat. So we're going to go in. So this is the warm gray. That's kind of what it looks like. You can see there's, highlights and stuff in there. Okay. So I'm going to go in with the cool gray. And I'll go with the 0 again and kind of lay the foundation or the base underneath here because it makes, when I lay the other colors over the other grays, darker grays over the top of it, it helps with the blending. If I have kind of a base color, it kind of wets the paper a little bit. Although this is a slick surface, so it's not really soaking into the paper as much as it's just kind of laying on top, but it still works pretty well for my purposes. Okay, so that was a 0. I'm going to grab it. Actually, I'm just going to jump up to a 3, I think. Okay. So I was conversing with Liam Sharp on Twitter yesterday or day before, maybe. And, talking about how he had mentioned that, no, for crying out loud, why do I pick the one that I'm like, it's like out of ink? Talking about how, he couldn't get any followers and all this kind of stuff. And he's got like 20,000 followers, right? I've got like 4,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? But he was saying that he didn't have any followers until he, listed that he was drawing Wonder Woman, and then his followership, is that the right word? Went through the roof. And so, and we basically had this conversation back and forth, and talking about the importance of retweeting images and things like that. And that's how you really can gain followers. So he started retweeting a bunch of my artwork on his page, and he has 20,000 followers, right? And and then he said, you guys need to follow Aaron. If you're not following Aaron, you should follow Aaron, right? Well, in less than 24 hours, I gained like 160 new followers, which was pretty amazing. But it just goes to show you how visibility is so stinking important. And how do you get visibility? That's the difficult thing. I got a YouTube channel. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm even on Parler, although I've had really hard time getting them uploading images for some reason. I don't know if it's them or if it's me, but I haven't been able to. I uploaded one image of my Captain America print, and I have yet to been able to upload another one. So I don't really know what's going on there. But I haven't checked back in a while either. So, okay, so that was a C3. I'm hitting it now with a C1 to kind of blend it a little bit.
All right.
So anyway, the moral of the story is you get followers by getting exposure, and you need followers to get exposure. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah, it's like getting your first job.
Exactly. So, because it ticks me off, and here I'm going to sound a little, whatever, but, I see people on Instagram I've never even heard of. I have no idea who they are, what they've ever worked on, and they've got like 17,000 followers. I'm like, how in the world did they do that? So
Joshua's girlfriend has 14,000.
Well,
and he's so anti-social media. It's so funny.
I was anti-social media too. You guys made fun of me. I had no clue. I thought you got like money or something.
Oh, I convinced him that
if you got followers on Facebook, you could get
it's like you got points
and stuff. And I was like, so I'm like, what do you want followers for? I don't get it. What's that for?
Oh my gosh, I got you hook, line, and sinker.
What does it matter if someone likes you?
Like, you get points that you can redeem for stuff.
Yeah, so I didn't know.
That was a good one for me.
So, and which I found out that you can't actually redeem them for points. So,
did you see purple?
When you start putting these now, okay, there it is. We're back. I stopped talking so we wouldn't lose any of you. The cool grays tend to lean blue. The warm grays lean yellow, or tannish. So, and you put them next to each other, and they start to take on those characteristics even more so. So this starts to look blue or purplish.
Purpley, yeah.
And I haven't even put any color on it yet. So it's really amazing what color does, or values do. Well, actually, these are colors, I guess, because they are, by making it cool and not neutral, or warm and not neutral. It's basically you're pushing it into a color. But just putting colors next to each other, how they can really change your perception of them very quickly. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even notice before Scott actually spelled my name correctly. That never happens.
Well,
thanks, Scott.
He's clearly an
I usually just get the
intelligent
Y,
guy.
no EY. Or I get the, oh, is that short for Michelle?
But see,
Nope.
I never, but you know, when I first met you, I didn't spell your name wrong. I spelled it correctly because that just seemed right to me. So I don't know.
I don't think it's that way on my birth certificate, though.
I think, what? It's not spelled correctly in your birth certificate?
No, my mom, like, kind of, oh, maybe it's just my sister's. I don't know. But I think.
Well, then your name isn't spelled that way if it's not on your birth certificate.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
You're
it is. I
faking.
could go downstairs and look. But, yeah. I think she changed her mind. I don't know. I would ask her, but I doubt my dad would remember.
Well, people spend a lot more time misspelling my name than do yours.
Yeah.
And how hard is that?
Or the E. They do E-R-I-N, the girl version.
Yes. That's also the Irish version, but I don't know if that's the girl Irish version or if it's just the anybody Irish version. So they could be making a double mistake. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I've established my values there with the cool grays, right? And the warm grays. So now what happens? Well, now I take a colored pencil and magic happens.
Really?
Well, we'll see. No, not really.
Oh.
Oh, Scott says he saw how Bert spelled it and copied from him.
Oh,
He cheated.
That's all right. You know, the honesty, you still get credit.
Okay, so we'll start here. And I'm going to do this very lightly because if I push too hard, then you're going to have those. I'm doing it in lines, obviously. Those lines are going to become more obvious. Now, I'm going to have to get this up closer because you can't really see the green as much, as I can live or in real life, or what am I trying to say?
Is this real life? Oh,
Okay, so let me.
Oh.
So you see that's starting to go green, and it's actually much greener.
He was right there, and he didn't throw the flag.
Here, so, and then what I take is the second use for toilet paper, and I'll go here and like smudge it, and that kind of smooths it out a little bit.
I've never seen you do that.
See? Now the thing is, look how green it looks here.
Yeah,
and look how not green it isn't there.
Oh, it isn't this one.
I know.
It's that
sucky
is
resolution.
In the camera.
Yeah.
So it isn't. Yeah.
So anyway, it's really that easy. So it becomes green, and then, but all my values are still
going so fast.
Oh, I don't really. I locked my hand, so it only goes a certain distance.
Oh.
Well, you should appreciate the radius of all people. It's starting to go green now, yeah. And it's funny how this green next to this yellow, the yellow starts picking up the green with it when they haven't even colored it green yet.
Analog and digital rarely agreement.
Hmm? Oh, yeah.
No, there we are.
We're back again. Man. Wi-Fi.
Well, that's what happens when we're talking to our daughter in her dorm room, where she's supposed to do her online classes from there, and it freezes about every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. See, technology isn't so great.
I would say, isn't technology awesome until it isn't?
Yep. And we're so married to it, when it goes haywire, we're just totally screwed.
Yeah, that's super green. Oh, it's kind of showing.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to, you start to see it there a little bit. I think he's got that rubber drinking bowl.
Yes, he does. Hi, boo-boos. Hi, boo-boos. I gotta trim those eyebrow hairs of his. Can't see his eyes.
Well, just wait till I take him into the groomer.
When is that gonna happen?
Next week.
I need to get my hair done too. Think we go at the same time?
I wouldn't go to the same person.
It couldn't look any worse than it does right now.
Should we put the camera on Shelly and see if
No,
Okay. Yeah.
This is the second time I've done it in my. I'm in my pajamas, kind of still. Okay,
Well,
still. Yeah, on that would have been less pathetic.
all right, so I'm smearing it out. See, you can see the green on there. How can you not even see? So this is
Oh my
it
gosh,
looks
that's how
dirty.
different. Yeah.
It looks dirty, but it's actually green in real life. Digital analog. All right, you know what? I didn't want to spend the money, but it's really ticking me off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get the high resolution
How
for
much?
these feeds. I don't know. It's like $20 a month more or something. But you can see that looks kind of olive greeny. It's much greener. Not you know,
What paper are you using?
shamelessly green, but it's that's not the word I wanted to use. I wanted to use overly.
Did you get it from this one? Asking what paper you're using.
Oh, yeah, Strathmore Bristol. This is Strathmore Bristol. It's smooth surface, 2-ply.
Smooth, acid free, heavyweight.
It's the kind
Oh,
you
it's
use.
kind of like me.
It's the kind. Jeez. It's the kind you would use if you're making your own comic book paper. That 2-ply bristle is the stuff. It's just smaller. Obviously, this is 9x12, but I actually cut this from the 11x14 pad because I didn't have a 9x12.
You just went to Art Media.
I didn't think I would need one.
Oh,
but the guy I did these for, that I'm doing this for, all of his are 9x12 because I had a 9x12 tablet like 4 years ago when I did all these headshots for him, and so this is going to him. So I wanted it to be the same size as all the other ones, so they matched. Because he actually is hanging them all on his wall. Like there's like 15 of them. He has them all up on his wall. So I'm,
let's see.
Got to respect someone who does that for your artwork.
2. You only have 2 pieces up in your studio that are yours.
I don't like to hang up my work. I'd rather hang up other people's work.
Yeah. There's a clue.
I mean, think about it. You go into somebody's house, right, and they got pictures of stuff they've done, and you're kind of like, isn't that sort of like the ultimate in, attention seeking? It's like I would rather have other artists that I like.
Do some name dropping though.
That's right. I'd rather name drop.
So we have the Simonson.
Got a Walt Simonson Thor up there.
Klug page.
Yeah, got a couple.
Somebody bought you. It was super nice.
That would be my wife.
I don't know the color one though. Who did that?
That's John Buscema ink by Rudy Nebres.
Okay, and then that's a Lopresti Wonder Woman cover.
Yes.
With our daughter on it.
My daughter on it, so I have to have that on the wall.
2 Paul Ryan sketches.
Yes.
And Sadness.
Yes.
Stout piece.
Yep. Got a stout up there. Well, that's a print though. It's
Yeah.
not original art.
It's signed.
I've got Scott Gustafson original, the children's book illustrator.
Is that which one?
The King and the Crows.
Oh, I love that one.
And then Peter DeSev original. Designer of robots in Ice Age and New Yorker cover artist for years.
Who did the Kermit and Yoda painting?
That's DeSev. That's just a
different piece though.
Yeah. But as you can see, the highlights remain, right? I did the highlights with the values with the markers. They're still there. It's just now turning everything green. So I don't have to go in and color this in darker with a green because the darkness is already there, established with the markers. This is actually kind of an old school painting technique that I've where you go in with one color, like for example, Rockwell used to use Mars Violet, which is kind of a mauve kind of color, which is really good for a base for flesh tones. And you go in and like you do all your values in you do all your values in
Hi, baby.
in this Mars Violet, and then it's it's called scumbling up and then glazing down. So then you would take white,
Wait,
quick dry
what's it,
white.
boo-boo?
This is oil painting.
Come on.
And you'd put it in where your highlights are, right? And then you would take a glaze of color and wash over the top of that white, which would knock the white back. And then when that dried enough, you'd go back in and hit the highlights again until you're narrowing it down to your very, very hottest highlight. But it's this series of layering. And this dog is like sniffing my ear.
Hi, boobies. Hi, boobies.
But anyway, to create,
You have the Kermit Yoda painting?
not the original.
Oh.
It's just a canvas print.
Yeah, you should. If you wanted the original, you should have married better.
Marry a lot
Oh gosh,
better.
Winston.
Good morning, Aaron. It's 10:30 a.m. Singapore. Love your art since I was introduced to your art. Wonder Woman. Thank you very much.
I don't know Winston's name.
Winston Go. We bought a ton of Wonder Woman
Tons.
pages back in the day. Yeah, Michael Lynch. You have the original? No.
No,
wish
you
I
would have
did.
had to not marry a teacher.
Yeah,
Your next marriage, you can marry for money.
that's right. Well, I'm running out of time. I'm getting a little old to attract anybody new at this point. And I don't have enough money to attract somebody younger. So I think we're stuck with each other for the long haul. Actually, we've already been stuck together for the long haul. I think we have less time on the back end of our marriage than we do on the front end at this point.
Well,
If
we
we,
married 28 years.
yeah, so if we go another 28, I will be, I'll be in my, well into my 80s. I don't think either one of us is going to make it that far.
There's no way. I'll be lucky to make it through next week.
Oh, man. Good times. Good times here on the Aaron Live Show. I can also use your finger to kind of, So anyway, this is how I do it.
How you do it?
That's how I do it. As Bugs Bunny said, if I doed it, I get a whooping. I do
I
it.
do it. Oh, the kids.
You know, it's sad. Most people like under 30 don't even know who Bugs Bunny is or Warner Brothers cartoons. It's sad. It's really sad. I made my kids watch them though, so they know.
Yep.
All right.
And Hoboken.
Ooh, I'm done. Actually, that's what we said when we actually went to Hoboken.
Yep.
Because you can kind of see, well, again, you're not getting a full green effect of this. I'll scan it and post it, and then you'll be able to see, like on Facebook and stuff. All right, so I got that. So then I want to go in here. I'm going to go in with a light blue first over the top of my gray areas. This is going to be a purple is my goal. But I have a very light purple, so I'm putting the blue underneath it to darken it up, and then I'll put the lighter purple over the top of this. And it should give me a darker purple that I'm trying to get. We shall see. Click on the new comments.
I'm trying.
Who's
Bugs Bunny? Hold me back.
Gosh.
Hold me
He
back.
knows. He better know.
Yeah, it is really weird to not have done. Did you do any Comic Cons before
What, this
the
year?
entire world shut down?
Yeah, it's Chicago. It was breaking out just when I went to Chicago, and everybody was starting to freak out. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And spent the night in Seattle.
Oh, that's right.
Airport.
Because if you didn't eat COVID from sleeping on the floor in Seattle, then you wouldn't.
Yeah, I figured I'm not going to get it.
Oh, run, you pig! Oh, touchdown!
Ooh, Maryland. Ooh, Maryland scores a touchdown. All right, so you can see this is kind of a light purple.
Oh, his last name's Funk. That is hysterical.
So it was a
If he
funky.
likes the song of Town Funk. Just saying.
Oh my gosh, it's 38 all. Whew.
3:38 left.
You guys should be watching
In the
that football
fourth.
game rather than me.
It's getting exciting.
I'm kind of disappointed you guys can't see the subtlety and the color here on this feed very well, but well, you get the idea. And like I said, I'll post it after I scan it so you can actually see how the colors came out. And see, I'll go over this and just kind of crosshatch over the color. And if you crosshatch enough over these, you don't really have to do much blending because the crosshatching itself will cause the blend. Yeah, Scott, I just saw that tie game, 38 all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a college game. It's Maryland and Minnesota. It's just that I'm such a college football addict that I watch any game that's on.
Well, you watch pretty much any college sports, really.
Yeah.
And the guy's house.
And so I'll just keep going over pretty much line work like this, just cross-hatching over the top of the crosshatch and crosshatch. And it does really help kind of smooth it out a little bit. I mean, there's still some texture in there, which I kind of like. But I can get rid of the texture very easily by using the toilet paper smoosh method. The toilet paper smoosh method. I'm going to have to coin that.
Sorry, I already had this on there. When you add things together, you smoosh them together.
That's true. But you've never used the smoosh and toilet paper in the same.
Oh. Just threw up a little bit.
Yeah. And look at how that purple's reading pretty well, actually, on there.
Yeah.
It's that green that is not reading that well.
That's Christine.
He's vegging out, for sure. Can't. Pop his
Yeah.
eyes. Black as a doll's eyes.
I'm reading. Did you listen?
Okay, so then I could go in here with my TP, kind of do this real quick, kind of smooth it out, soften it up a little bit if I wanted to, which apparently I do because that's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's funny. Have a coach call you. You must have been good.
Call you? What do you call you?
Oh, no. You have to read this.
My senior year of high school, when one of my teachers wrote me a letter of recommendation to a school, I ended up not applying to that school's college football coach sent me a letter asking me to join the college football team, but I didn't end up applying to that school. Well, you are kind of a big guy, Ben, as I recall. I'm always sitting down and you're like
the coaches that I wanted to go to always told me I was too short.
I got a recruiting packet in basketball from the district, but I never actually got recruited by anybody.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't played sports.
I was glad. I mean, I was done. By the end of my senior year, I was just so tired of practice and practice and practice. And I knew I was going to play in the NBA, so I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Well, at some point in your life, you got to pay the piper.
That's right.
And I'm paying for me and somebody else, I think.
That's right. My physical therapist, I'm in because my shoulder bothers me from weightlifting of all things. But she was a basketball player and a soccer player. She's 10 years younger than me and has already had a knee replacement. So college sports, and Shelly's had multiple surgeries on her shoulder and her back. It's just
4 shoulder.
Ain't worth it.
4 back.
Okay, so now I've got this pretty much done, but if there's like some really heavy shadow areas I want to go in, I'm going to go in with a neutral. Actually, I'm going to do his eyes first. Then I'm going to go in with a neutral gray to create the shadows. I mean, the real heavy shadows.
So Benjamin was 5'11", 240.
I'm assuming that was a good 240. Not a bad 240, if you know what I mean.
Well, how much did you weigh when you graduated high school?
160, maybe.
Our son graduated at about 150 after a big meal.
Okay, so I'm going to grab an N4, right? And I want to put some shadows. Does smear the pencil underneath here, which actually creates kind of a cool effect. So, but it will ruin the tip of your pen. That's why I have multiple tips, so I can replace the tips after I mess them up by doing this. But it gives a kind of cool effect because you can really you can really get some soft blends because you're really moving that colored pencil around almost like you would have kind of a watercolor. It's kind of nice. Someone leaving? All right, have a good night, Bert. Thanks for coming by. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you saying that.
There was just something on there, ACC and Big Ten. Something. Basketball. Ew.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Yes. So it's called off?
No, it hasn't started yet. They're just announcing teams because they're figuring out who's playing who. Okay, so I'm using this dark gray to really create some shadows underneath his eyes where I wanted them and underneath his nose here, as opposed to going in with a black and making it a solid black, right? So if I want to go in and intensify some of these shadow areas, I can go in.
Oh my gosh, that was clutch. Sorry.
I can go in over the top. My N4 is either clogged it up with that marker or it's running out of ink. Which is okay because I'm moving on now. So I can also go in with, where is it? My warm 4.
40.
There's a 3.
Oh, throwing flag. Flag mode.
Where's my warm 4 at? I got a warm 3.
I didn't take it.
And a warm 5. I must have put it someplace. That kind of ticks me off, man. Because I don't know if I want to go in with the 5. Well, I will. I'll go in with the 5 and we'll see what happens. And if I ruin it, well, you saw it here first, folks. So I want to get some of those shadows even darker. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh, catheter fear.
Okay. So I'm going to darken with that shadow.
Oh, go lay down in your bed. That's a good boy. Yes. Just make a boy.
And I'm always sort of cowardly to lay down some really heavy shadows. I really have to kind of work my way up to it, like I'm doing now.
Holy cow, 2nd and 25.
But see, then I'm going to go in. That was a 5, so I'm going to go in with the 3. I really want to watch this game. There's 30 seconds left, but I'm not going to because this is more important. Gosh darn it!
I'll just give you an update.
And again, I'm smearing that green while I'm doing this too, which actually is helping. You get more and more look, watercolor look to it the more you do this.
Oh.
And I'm sort of trying to avoid the temptation of going with black, so I'm using these darker grays.
and 25.
It's not a good down in distance.
No.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, chucks it. He chucks it. Oh, man. Right through the hands. Oh, that was it.
See, I want to get that kind of cross hatching here because I know that his costume's ribbed or something like that. So,
A little bit.
so you know, I can go in here. I'm going to go with this 5 again and just hit this shadow area here a little heavier, right? Because the light seems to be coming this way. I wasn't really thinking about it when I planned this out, but that is how it's kind of evolved. So if that's the case, then I'm going to drop some heavy shadows over on this side of his face.
Fourth and 15. Yeah, they're letting the time go out. Overtime.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to go hit back. That was a 5 I just laid down. I'm going to hit it with a 3. Okay. I like how this is looking. See a little bit more shadow there. Then hit that again with a 3.
Did Josh say what time he's going to come up and get his costume?
Nope. Okay. I want to get a little bit more on this nose, but I want to be careful. So I don't think I'm going to hit it with a 5. I'm going to build up a little bit more slowly with the warm 3. Yeah. Yes, that is much, much better. Okay. You guys aren't getting the full effect. It's not really separating the shadows on this screen as much as it is in real life. Just going to have to trust me on this. Okay, do I have a C3? I do have a C3. So let's go in and hit this a little bit. Darken this up a little bit with the 3, which I'm running out of. But I just really wanted to hit it right there anyway, so make that a little bit darker. Okay. I'm going with the 4. Okay. I'm still tempted to go in there and do a bunch of line work, but I'm not going to. Because I really want to treat these more like a painting than line work. So I'll go with that C3 just as a blender. I mean, it's almost out of ink, but there's enough in there to kind of blend the edges here a little bit. And again, it's kind of rough, but I don't care. I kind of want some texture. For an airbrush look, you know. I'm going to go in here and C4 right in here, because again, this is kind of the tail of his hat coming around here, and it's going to be that's going to be the shadowy side there. Do a bit of a blend on those, even though I don't really need it, but just a bit. Okay, so all I have left now is I got to do the teeth, which I almost forgot about, and they're going to be yellow because they're gross. So I'm going to go in with a warm one, and hit these teeth just on the shadow side. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a yellow colored pencil. I'm going to hit it real light over the top of this because I don't want them too yellow. I just want them to pick up the yellow a little bit. And they did. They're just a little bit yellow as I wanted. I got to get his gums in here. We're nearing the finish line, so if you're on the East Coast, hang with me. We're almost done. Okay. So what do I have here? Where's my black at?
Oh, nice.
Here's a black. So got some black inside his mouth here. Right there. Okay. So, right. Okay. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to hit his eyes a little bit of warm gray. Just kind of get him a little bit of volume there. Again, I don't think you guys are really noticing that on the feed, but it is effective. Then I wanted to drop a shadow across his teeth, but I'm not going to do it as dark. I'm going to go with a neutral 3. Because as you can see, the shadow dropping from his nose here, and then it carries on his lip there. So it obviously is going to have to run across his teeth as well, but I don't want it as dark. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to fill it in here with this. So now the shadow drops across
That should have been passing.
his teeth. Oh, wait a minute. There's still... I'm going to go in with a little bit of shadow underneath this ear. Like that. Punch up the shadow underneath his neck a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Definitely black. All right.
She's gone nuts.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
I still feel like I could use
Somebody's going to be in trouble.
a little bit of darker gray here. This kind of...
Aaron, watch. Watch.
Oh, that's pretty much pass interference.
You think?
Okay. I
Holy
do...
cow. Like 6 inches. First and goal. Oh, that guy's going to feel horrible.
I do feel like I want to go in here and make this darker around the cheek too.
Yeah. No, run, you pig. Oh.
Then I'll go with a 1, actually, because I don't want, he's in. Merlin.
All I have to do is just knock that thing over. Because like his feet weren't in there.
Yep, with the ball, once the ball breaks the plane, anytime if you knock the cone over, that's considered it.
It takes off from like the 3-yard line.
If you knock the cone over, the cone is a touchdown. All right.
Arms were long enough.
Yeah, okay, now we're getting someplace. Okay. Kind of liking how this is turning out, folks. Okay, so really all I have left to do here then is I want to strengthen the outline of this with, where's my 8 at? I'll go back with my 8, which I originally did the color job. It has been covered with, marker, colored pencil, so it's kind of graded out a little bit. So I want to punch that line up. You guys have obviously seen me do this on my commissions too. Punch that outline up. Steve, Antonio, you got the package in Hawaii. Awesome, great. I always get nervous when I send an art out and stuff anymore, because insuring the art is so expensive now that it's, quite frankly, it's not worth it. I've never had a piece lost or damaged, and actually I've had one piece damaged, but out of all the hundreds of things I've mailed out. So I quit charging people for the insurance because I think it's a ripoff. Because even when something happens and you try to cash in the insurance, it's so hard. They make it almost impossible for you to, cash in the insurance. So it's just really a ripoff. So as a result, when somebody pays me for something, I hold it in my account until they get the artwork or whatever. Just in case I have to, it gets lost or whatever, and I have to either refund them the money or do it again. But I've been very fortunate, thank God, that I have not had to deal with that hardly at all. See, this sort of, for me anyway, sort of comes to life a little bit better with that when you start punching up that black line around it. That's pretty much it. I want to, like I said, I'm resisting the temptation to go in and put lines in here. I keep going, I just put a line right there and shade it there a little bit. But I'm not going to do it. I'm putting some more. See, again, I'm very much a coward when it comes to initially laying down shadows and stuff. I have to build my way up into it until I feel, you look at it and go, okay, it really needs to be punched up, and then I do it, because if you go in and lay your shadows in really early, it looks so dark that you think you've screwed it up, and then you can sometimes lose confidence in what you're doing and say, okay, I'm starting over because I blew it. So I try not to do that by essentially just waiting and building up those shadows real slowly.
Flag.
Another flag? Seriously?
Yep, another pass interference.
These poor guys, man.
I bet. And then, so they'll go halfway to the goal line, right?
Yep. And then we're into double overtime. I wish you guys could see the green.
Third and 5 maybe.
Well, that's the idea, Scott. You try. I'm going to put this up here, what Scott just said. Oh. He says our feed is 8 seconds behind his, so you're reacting to stuff like on TV 8 seconds after. See, there you go. The color work made any more lines unnecessary. That's supposed to be the idea, right? That you get that depth and you get the highlights and you get the shadow areas that you don't really need to go in there and dress it up with lines. but we're also used to that because that's so much so much the comic book language that, or at least traditional comic book language.
Too easy.
Oh, they just tied it up again?
Yep.
There you go. Double overtime.
Well, so at least that pass interference canceled out the other one. Because if they would have lost because of the pass interference, that guy would feel bad.
Yes. Okay, I am going to, what am I going to do? I am going to do something, but what?
Hopefully he won't shank this.
If I can find, there it is. Now I'm going to outline this with a warm 3. If I get the green off of it. See, I've already ruined the tip on this.
Oh, he shanked it. Oh my.
Did he really?
Yes. I cursed him when I said, I hope he doesn't shank it.
So Minnesota shanks the extra point and they lose.
Yep.
Wow. Hate to be that guy.
Oh my God.
I feel bad for kickers, man. That.
Thank you very much. What? Oh, that's so sad.
Now his teammates want to beat him up. You got one job, man. Oh, I ruined the tip on this. Doggone it.
Oh, look, Aaron. Shank you?
Oh. That's the pressure getting to you, man. Wow. It's like shooting a free throw with a game on the line.
And then he said a bad word.
So now his mom's mad at him. He can't even. You can kind of see the little halo I'm putting around it with the lighter brown. Again, when I scan this, you guys will be amazed at how the colors are different. But I mean, you can still see the values, and that's really sort of what is to be taken from all of this, I think. There it is, and that, folks, is that. I wonder if I have. I might take a brush later and drop in a couple highlights, like in the eye area right there, but that's too messy to worry about right now. But you can see most of the highlights are built in already. All I have to do is, if I want a real hot spot, like in his eyes, I'll take some white out, some pro white, and dip it in there. And oh my goodness. Huh.
All right.
Forgot. I knew that I was forgetting something. There. It was like the inside of his ear. I wanted to make sure I got that. So anyway, that's
the green. The green looks so gray on that.
Yeah, I know. I will. Like I said, I'm going to scan this right when I get done and post it. So you guys check out my Facebook feed, and if you don't have Facebook, I'll put it on Twitter as well. What does it say? Mm-hmm. Aaron LaPresse. So comic boards are 11 by 17, and then you measure 10 by 15 for the art. Is any art that extends the 10 by 15 measurements considered a full bleed? No, 10 by 15 is actually the ruled lines. That would be like as far as you can put your word balloons out is 10 by 15. So that you would put your borders for your panel borders there. So full bleed is another. Would you grab out of the top drawer of my flat file right here? Sure. This one.
Oh, one of your 5 flat files or whatever.
Yeah, grab me that Bristol, that one. Yep. Thank you. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this. This is like. Okay. Okay, see that dotted line on the inside?
Yeah.
That goes all the way around. That's 10 by 15. That about another ½ inch out is your full bleed line. Okay. So if you're doing, this would be where you have your ruled line for your panel borders, would be that line right there. But if you want to do a full bleed panel or full bleed bleed page, you want to go a ½ inch beyond that 10 by 15 inches, right? So that's basically, but you don't want your word balloons to go past the dotted line, which is, you can see it up here too. That's the 10 by 15, right?
Yeah.
And it goes on the bottom. And so you have, and then a 1/2 inch extended for full bleed all the way around that. Here, you can get this in smooth, or
Oh, there we are.
you can go in smooth, or what do they call it? What does that one say?
Semi-smooth.
I guess, but that's not what I'd call it. I would call it
smooth.
That's all I have is smooth.
Because you're so smooth.
I like the smooth stuff, but anyway, some people like the more textured paper, which eats your pencil up much faster. I don't know why I like the slick. I just do it. Inks. You know why I like it? Because it inks better. Anyway, so that's the answer to that question. Visual aids, thanks. I buy the same boards from Hobby Lobby. There you go. Okay, so that's actually a nice little shot right there of it. Color's not exactly right, but like I said, we'll get it up there and you can see exactly what it does look like. So I guess the only thing left is for me to sign it to prove that I did it, although we do have proof. On video. All right, there it is.
Woohoo!
All right, I'm going to turn the camera on me, Shelly, which means it's going to be on you. So
I gotta move. Wait.
Shelly's the voice, but she never wants to be seen.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got to zoom out just a little bit here. I don't think you want to be too close to my face.
My gray hair is showing. It's just not a pretty look.
Okay, as you can see, I'm wearing my red. This is my Nebraska outfit because it is college football season, as we've been noting all evening long. And Nebraska's not playing this weekend. But
sad
what are you going to do? I'm very sad. But we did draw the Green Goblin tonight, which is really kind of a joy. So anyway, I wanted to do what? Where's my sketchbook? Oh, there it is. I'm going to plug one of these because there's only 14 people watching. I should have done it when there was like 20 some watching. If you don't have one of these, get one of these.
Get them out of here.
Really. So I get rid of these things. Are all over the house. And in some ways, they actually are. So there you go. There's all my contact information, Aaron@aaronlopresti.com. PayPal is Aaron@aaronlopresti.com. Email is Aaron@aaronlopresti.com. Everything is Aaron@aaronlopresti.com. Yep. And there's a price. The sketchbook's $25. $45 plus $5 shipping. If you want a sketch inside, it's $5 shipping either way, but you just get it signed and numbered, or you can get it with a sketch inside. This is a hardcover, 64 pages, full color with decorative end papers.
Oh.
And someone's texting me right at the end of my show.
Let's see.
So anyway, look, it even has Kane, My House of Mystery in there in color, right next to a pizza dough baker dude.
Oh.
So
Sammy just sent.
How awesome is that? So anyway, we got.
I need your thumbprint.
All sorts of cool stuff.
Thumbprint or something.
There it is.
Oh, she said she just drew Ringo. Let's see. Dun, dun.
I gotta get in there really close.
There it is.
Yeah, there's my daughter doing Ringo Starr at college.
She's dressing up as him tomorrow?
No, she's dressed up as George Harrison.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's obsessed with the Beatles.
Which is pretty amazing for a 18-year-old.
And she's mad because I haven't put up her Queen poster.
Yeah, I raised her on classic rock. So anyway, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a really good book. And I'm not just saying it because I did it. It really is. And so you should get one if you don't have one.
Make great Christmas gifts.
That's right. We're all about Christmas here. I'm going to do a Christmas con. So watch out.
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea.
And I'll probably wear a Santa hat.
I was going to say,
and it could get crazy. So
if I let my gray hair go, I can be Mrs. Claus.
That's right. So I don't know when that'll be. Probably 1st of December. Just in case you want to order something, you can actually get it for Christmas.
That's pretty smart.
But I am going to be doing Christmas con. So
there you have it.
And maybe we'll have some Thanksgiving leftovers during the show. Who knows? I mean, it just could get crazy. But anyway, there you have it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me, as I always do, because If you guys didn't show up, then there'd really be no point in me doing it, would there?
Just to entertain ourselves.
That's right. Yeah, we just turn the camera off and do this anyway. So I'm glad I could share it with you. Again, thanks for joining me, and
see you later.
Make sure you check I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I have a YouTube channel which you're maybe watching this on right now. And if you are, like and subscribe, please. Okay.
Hey,
that's all the begging I can do for one evening. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
When I have an end to the broadcast, they can hear us.